Hi there, I'm Martha Van Dam and this is Living Beyond. Thank you for joining me with this. Right now we are on our fourth video that is about what to do when you find life is kind of caving in on you with more things than you can manage. And I can't go through as a recap all the other things or we'll use too much time. We want to jump right in. So by now you should have a file folder that you have written down all these little tabs of things that are hanging over you. And this is where we begin to see something that makes us feel like, oh, we're making progress, we have a plan. One of the things that has likely created trouble for you, I can say that because I know it created trouble for me, and I know that it creates trouble for others. So one of the things that creates trouble is we have lots going on in our mind, and it feels as though we need to be working on all of those things. The reason it feels that way is because every single one of those things that went on your list are important. So it feels like there's this massive pressure and press to get them all done. But the fact of the matter is, we can't do 17 things at one time. You can't even likely do 10 things at one time, or 5 things, and not even 4 things or 2 things. When we feel, and I know that many of you say, I multitask and I multitask really well, and that's great. And there are wonderful times for multitasking. I sometimes like to think I'm the master of multitasking, but I also know what happens when multitasking goes too far. When it goes too far, then we end up with our minds bouncing from thing to thing, trying to manage this. Oh yeah, and remembering we were trying to manage that. And while we're managing this, we're forgetting a piece of this. And then we feel anxious because we're not sure exactly what all we've remembered and what we've gotten done. Sound familiar, anybody? Yeah, I wish I could say I read that in a book. So what we've got to do is we have to break away from the pressures of the world and from the teachings that say you can do all the things you want to do at one time, because the mind is not wired to put good focus and focus that accomplishes things well. The mind is not wired to do lots of those things at one time. But my goodness, when we apply ourselves to 1, maybe 2 things based on if we can finish up this piece, and while we're waiting on the end of this piece, go ahead and start another. Yes, we can do those kinds of things. So what we want to do with all of these is you're going to look on here and you're going to say, of all of these things that are important to me and I want to be working on, which one is either going to make the most difference for all the rest? And I can tell you, oftentimes a topic that's going to make the most difference for all the rest is something that has to do with our health or something that has to do with our organization and planning. But you may have something different. So we look on our list and we figure, what are the 1 or 2 things that are so important that they are going to make a massive difference in everything else. And you're going to take those things. And I sort of cheated over here because you'll see that I actually, right here, I have 3 things. See, this list is all work things. I looked through here and here too, because we've added space. And these, because we had so many. But all of these are work things. If I tried to focus on all of those things in any given day, heck, if I tried to focus all on any given week, my mind would explode. It's impossible. But what I can do, all of these were over here at one point, is I can take the thing that I'm going to work on, and I would ideally like you just to take 1 thing. I happen to be working on a few, knowing that I can get a few done this week. The first one I have right here is social media post. Guess what I'm doing right now? As I'm making these videos that you are going to be listening to, I'm creating my social media post. This is the last one for today. So when I finish that, and I still have about another hour before my next client comes in, I'm going to do my next task, which my marketing person has told me to do, which is to look up some websites and businesses of other people doing some similar things and see what is working for them in the working for them and I'm sorry, I got distracted. Yes, what is working for them, and help me with ideas with my marketing. What are people who are farther along than I am, who are higher up in the success world? What are things that they are doing that might benefit me? And he's asked me to do that. So I will be looking online at other people that I have respect for, and I like the work they're doing, and I'll be looking to see, okay, what are they doing? And then I will work with him later on in the week and tell him what I found. That likely is all I will be able to get to do today. This, number one, over here, is the next thing that I'm doing in a course that I'm creating, which is making the videos. And really what I want to do here is get this scheduled, get it on my calendar, know what day I'm going to do it, and plan for it. But you see, what I've done is I've created this small focus. Even though there's all this over here that needs to be done, by putting it here, my mind knows I'm getting to it. My mind knows I'm not forgetting it. And it also gives me a sense of I can put that off because I will get to it as I finish these. So I'm moving them over here. I focus only on the ones that I'm supposed to be focusing on this week. As I get them done, I move them down. You know what? We're about finished with this talk. So I'm going to add this right down here. As soon as I say goodbye, we're done. So that comes down, and I've got a little more time left that I can start on that one. So it helps. If the main thing is that it helps our minds to be settled, our minds not to be so jumbled, so that we then can work on one thing at a time. This, as I've said before, this is exactly what we do in coaching or in counseling. We help pull apart the multiple things that the person is struggling with, and we say, all right, let's create a plan. You and I, in the last 4 days, have created a plan for how to manage the myriad of things, the multiple of things that are hanging over us. So go ahead and get started. Put your little papers all over your file folder, and this will be your side where you are working in the future things from what you will pull from here, and you will put them over here, and this is what you're really working on. So this, by the way, is just a list of little projects that I have mostly for home. And so these are things for work, and these are things for home. And that's why I have them divided that way. As I get them done, they end up coming down at the bottom. So I hope that you find that beneficial. It is being incredibly helpful to me. It's easy to carry around because it just goes in my bag with my computer and my some of my books that travel with me. And easy to pull out and just look at, easy to leave on my desk. So file folder, little stickies, some time, and we got this. Creating a plan goes a long, long way to helping us create peace. So thank you for listening. I hope that if you find some of these things work, that you'll message me, make a note somewhere, somehow a message, let me know. If you're having trouble and you'd like to talk some more about it, please contact me. You can contact me on any of the social media platforms. And I will be glad to get back with you. Also would be glad to set up a coaching appointment for you. So, hope that you have a wonderful day. Remember that you can live beyond and through anything and everything that life throws at you. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.